This is Gemara Nedarim Daf Lamed Hey, and we're holding on Lamed Daled Amid Beis. We learned to the end of the Amid, but to get a bit of a running start as the sugya continues on Daf Lamed Hey, let's begin with Ba'i Minei Rav Chima Meir Avavin. Again, we're going to start 4 lines from the top of Lamed Daled Amid Beis, a bit of a running start. So the question of Rav Chima Avin that he asked to Rava was Kikari Olecha. So it says, my kikar is forbidden to you, and then Vinasnu Lai B'matana. Then he gives that kikar to him as matana. Mahu, what is the din? Do we say Kikari Amar like Kiyasabirshu Sayuda Aser? My kikar. When it's my kikar, it's Aser. When it's your kikar, it's fine. Oidilma, no. Olecha Amar La Eluye Shavite Hektish. That I'm making it onto you like Hektish. So two stadim, how do we view this entity that now is mine and I made it Aser like Hektish to you, and then I give it to you? So Amar Lei, those were the two stadim of the Shailer of Chiba Rav imposed to Rava. So Rava responded, Pshita, it's obvious. Te'af al gaf, te'yav elei matana, Aser. Says Rava, the second side is obvious. I made it to you, Aser, not just Kikari. Elo Kikari alecha lafu kemai. Why did I say Kikari? If I meant to make it Aser when it's yours, why did I say Kikari? My lav lafuki diganva minei mignav. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. Says Rava, is the reason why I said that is so that if it's stolen, it should be forbidden? No way. Amar lei, Sir Chiva Ravin said, Loi. Lafuki diazamni Allah. You know what, it's coming, and this is the way the Ran reads the Gemara. Many are probably wondering, it's a little bit of a, not such an easy read. If we peek over here at the Ran, 6 lines to the bottom, the Ran says Bitmiya. That this statement of Di Mignav Gonav is a Bitmiya, meaning, if I said my oath is Aser to you, I did not only mean to Aser it, that if it gets stolen, rather, I meant to answer it even if I later give it to you. It doesn't make any sense that it's only usher when it's in my possession. To that, Rav Chia bar Avin responds, Loi, la'afuke, you know what it's coming to exclude? It's coming to exclude the azamni alei, that if I invited you to my house, then you cannot partake in the loaf of bread. So that is the current machlekes between Rava and Rav Chia bar Avin. What do we do in this scenario that one says, Kikari olecha, that my loaf of bread should be forbidden to you? Do we say it retains its prohibition even after I give it to you? We continue on Lamrei Amar Aleph Eisvei. Asks someone, a Shaila, was posed at the Beis Medrash to Rava. Again, Rava said that even after I give you this loaf of bread, it is forbidden to you. Amar lo yashileni parascha, parascha. If someone said, lend me, please, I'm sure he said, lend me your cow, and Amar lo, and the person responds, koinam pari shani kanoi. Look, this cow is koinam. This cow is forbidden to you. Nechasi alecha. Or if he says that all my property should be forbidden to you. So what's the halacha? Im yesh li para elazu. And he says, if I have any other cow except for this, then that which I said. So meaning, this cow should be kainam. My properties should be aser if I have any other cow aside for this. We'll see clearly what this means in a moment. Continues the Gemara 3 lines down. Hashileni kardumech. If someone says, lend me your kardum, lend me your shovel, Amar Loi, the person responds, Koinam kardum she'eshli. My shovel is aser to you. She'ani kanoi, excuse me. Nechasei olai, or my properties that I possess is aser. If yeshli kardum elazeh. If I have any other kardum aside for this, Venim sa sheyeshloi, and it comes out that he has. So what did he say? That if I have another kardoim, if I have another para, then this item is forbidden. Then all my properties are forbidden. What is the halacha? Says the Braisa. Says the Brisa 6 lines down, Bechayov Aser. The halacha is, during the life of the one who made this neder, the owner will call it of the cow of the kardoim, the item is aser. Mace, if he is niftar, shenasnu loy bimatana, those are the critical words. Shenasna loy bimatana, if he gives over that item, loy, to him, then arei zeh mutter, then it is allowed. So asks the Gemara, you, Rava, just taught me that even after the item is given to the other guy, it's still forbidden. But wait, we see in a Brisa not that way. So Amar Rav Chia, Breder Rav Ika, Rav Chia comes along and defends Rava, and he says, Shanisna loy al yetei acher. The Brisa is talking about a case where the item was given to him via a third party. It's not that I gave it to you directly. As the Ran speaks out, Shenasnai Madir le'inish alma, that the person who made the neder gave it to a person, and that's the case that it's mutter. Meaning, Rava said it's forbidden in one case. Rava was talking about a case where I, the one who made the neder, gave it directly. But then it's forbidden, then it retains the isser. But if I first gave it to someone else, then it is mutter. Amar Rav Ashi, says Rav Ashi, Dekanami, I'll bring you a raya. Tekatani, what does it say? Shenisna loi. It says that was given to him. V'loikatani shenasna loi. And it doesn't say that he gave it to him directly. And of course, a little bit difficult in the grammar, but the Ran over here speaks out, Kalaymar, Shekachis Kabbalah biyadam, Likrais nasnoi bechiruk, that the word nisnoi or nasnoi, the word, well, the problem is nun, taf, nun, hey, is the same word. So the Ran points out that a Kabbalah, that you read nisnoi with the yud, with the chiruk, as the e, aval bi she'in b'ksiva, Shom Hefresh. And that's going to be the difference that the Brisa seemingly indicates that this is the case from the fact that it says Nisnai and does not say Nasna Loi. And with this, we move on to a new piece of Gemara. Says the Gemara, Ba'imine Rava, or about 12 lines down, the first one line is Rava Meir of Nachman. Rava posed the following fundamental shayla in Hilchos Nedarim to Rav Nachman. Yesh mi'ila b'kainamais oiloi. Is there a concept of mi'ila? What is the concept of mi'ila when someone uses an item belonging to the Beis HaMikdash for his own personal usages? The Ran over here spells out, Yesh mi'ila b'kainamais oisa davar alav b'kainam. So makes an item also to himself as a kainam. And then he goes and he benefits from that item. He said it should be a neder. Then he goes and he benefits. Mi mechayev mi'ila oiloi. And the Ran speaks out a drop deeper. Mi amrinan diyase kikarban v'chayev olav osha mi'ila lai kinena min akachim. Are you? What's the practical ramification? Are you chayev the carbon like an entity of mi'ila? That was the shayla that Rava posed to Rav Nachman. Amar Lei, responds Rav Nachman to Nitua. We learned in our Mishnah, in a place where they pay for the returning of a lost object, but you can't pay because it's an Isra. Then what happens? The benefit should go to Hektish. So explains the Gemara, Lemimra, what does this mean to say? Ki Hektish, that this entity is like Hektish. My Hektish yesh ba mi'ila, av koinamais yesh by mi'ila. So suggests Rav Nachman that there is a concept of mi'ila by Nedarim, but now the Gemara does not stick as this is a simple point, but rather the Gemara says about 13 lines to the bottom, the first line is mi'ila kitanoi. Then in reality, the shayla that you Rava just posed, that you Rav Nachman just responded that there's Me'ilah, in reality this is a machlokes ta'anoi. As we see in the following brisa. Koinam kikar zeh hektish, someone makes an neder that this loaf of bread is hektish va'achla, and then someone eats it. Beinu bein chaveroi mo'al, whether he eats it, whether someone else eats it, he's very transgressing Me'ilah. Lefikach, therefore, yesh la pidyin, therefore he could redeem it. Whereas if he says, Kikar zu alai lehakdish, if he says, this loaf of bread is upon to me like hektish, Va'achla, and then he eats it. Hu ma'al chaveiroi loy ma'al, because he was subjective to himself. Therefore, there is no meila. Fikach en l'opinion divi Rabbi Meir. So Rabbi Meir clearly holds there's yes meila v'chacham. V'mayim benkach u'menkach lo'mahal v'she'ein meila b'kainamais. So says the Gemara, the Shaila really has a previous machlekes Rabbi Meir the Chachamim whether there is meila to kanamais. Once we're on such a topic, Rav Acha Breid Rav Avia Rav Ashi. 6 lines in the bottom of Lamed Hey Amud Aleph. Because kikari alecha v'naslei b'matana. Literally the case that we started with, my kikar is forbidden to you and then I give it to him as a gift. Mi mal. Asks Rav Acha to Rav Ashi, who is the one that's over me'ila? Lim ol noisein. Is the giver over in me'ila? Why would the giver be over me'ila? Because I said this item is forbidden to you and then I gave it to you. So maybe I'm over me'ila, but can't be. But it's not usher to me, it's only usher to you. Limo mekabel. So what are we going to say? You, the one that accepted, is over me'ila. Yachal daimar hatira ba'isi. Isura loy ba'isi. But he can respond, I didn't want such a thing. I only want an item that's mutter. So how could I transgress by merely accepting such an item? So Amar Le, Rav Ashi says back, Mekabel moal lekeshe yoitzi. When the guy who accepts it goes and spends it and uses it, then he's over Mila. Meaning, it's true. The mere acceptance itself might not be Me'ila, but when he spends it, when he utilizes the loaf of bread, then he's over Me'ila. Why? And Rav Ashi concludes with a klal, whoever spends the money, whoever spends hektish for regular purposes, thinking it is chulin, hu moyel, he is over me'ila by doing such an action, by utilizing an action that should belong, an item that should belong to hektish for his own purposes. So avzeh moyel, so to in this case, he is moyel. So multiple stages, a shayla, whether we're over me'ila, a teretz, in which scenario it would be applicable. And finally, the Gemara now is concluding with why is the recipient over me'ila? He's over me'ila when he utilizes and spends the item. We turn over to Lamed Hey Amud Beis and we begin a new Mishnah that says as follows: V'tayrim es trumasai u'ma'isreisav l'daitai. Says the Mishnah, one who's not able to get benefit, the case that we're talking about in the previous Mishnayis, so makes a neder enough from his friends. What is he allowed to do for him? Tayrim es trumasai. V'tayrim, as you see, it's starting off in the middle of a sentence, and he is allowed to take shum off his items, u'ma'isreisav, and take off ma'is for him l'daitai, if he knows about it. U'makrav lav kinei zavim, and he could bring for him a carbon, kinei zavim, the carbon that one has to bring if he's a zav, kinei zavais, or kinei yoladais, kinei are birds, or the carbon by one who gives birth, Chatois, a carbon that one brings after doing an Aveira, or similarly an Asham. Umelamdoi medrash, you're allowed to teach him medrash halachas and agadois. Avolo yilamdenu mikra. You're not allowed to teach him chomish. Avol malamid who has banav as benoisa mikra. You could yes teach his children mikra, and obviously we're going to see some fundamental ideas of Talmud Torah coming soon. So says the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Ibayilu. Let's ask the following Shaila. Fundamental Shaila, when a Kohen acts on your behalf, he brings the carbon, etc. Who is he doing this for? Is he doing it for you, or is he doing it for heaven? And obviously we understand that the Kohen at some level is acting for both parties, because he's bringing your carbon as a carbon to Hashem. But the question is, who is he acting on behalf with regard to the practical ramifications, the halach, as we'll see in a moment, as the Gemara now articulates, Lemay nafkamina, who cares, as we're saying right now, Lemay der hana, if someone makes a neder hana from the Kohen, if the Kohen is considered my shliach, hamahani, so it's considered that he's giving me benefit, and if I had a neder hana against him, vasar would be forbidden. And if you're going to tell me that no, the Kohen is acting on the sake of heaven, then shari, the fact that I cannot get benefit from him is irrelevant because he's not acting for me, he's acting on behalf of heaven. So a fundamental shayla mai, who is a kohen acting on whose behalf when he brings a carbon? So Tashema, 4 lines into the Gemara of Lamed Hamid Beis, 10 lines into the whole Amid. Tashema, I'll bring you a rayo. Did tonight we learned to the Mishnah Makar Love Kinei Zavim Kinei Zavos. Vikinei Yola Dois our Mishnah. So explains the Gemara. If you're going to tell me that the kohen is my shliach kamahani lei, said he's giving a benefit, why is he allowed to bring the carbon on his behalf? So it must be, who's he acting for? He's acting on behalf of heaven. Says the Gemara back 1 second. According to your reasoning, listen, makir v'lav karbanos. Why did the Mishnah just say he could bring karbanos? A question that I'm sure people have been wondering, why did the Mishnah articulate the birds of a yoledes, of a zav, of a zava? Why? Why did the Mishnah leave it more open-ended? And the Mishnah should have said very simply that you're allowed to bring a carbon on behalf of someone that you make a neder anah for them. So says the Gemara, you know what you have to say. But rather, so you know what you're going to have to say. You must say, excuse me, Ela mechusrei, I knew I read something wrong. Ela mechusrei kabara shayni. Must be for the fact that the Mishnah chose a specific case, must be that case is different. Damar Rav Yochanan, Hakol tzrichem das, chutz me mechusrei kabara. Every carbon, says Rav Yochanan, needs das, needs knowledge aside from what a carbon, one that is lacking atonement, needs the kapara. Why? You're allowed to bring such a carbon for your children who are minors. Shenamar, as the Torah teaches us, Zois, Teiras, Azav, this is the Torah of the Zav, and Gadol, Bain, Katan. So explains the Gemara, the Mishnah was particular that we chose specifically cases which are mechusri kapara to teach us that the koyanim are whom? Agents of myself. You wanted to prove, again, this was a shaila posed in the base medrash, no names, excuse me. So says the Gemara, you wanted to prove from our Mishnah that they're shluchei Dishmaya, there must be the messengers of heaven, and that's why he's allowed to bring the carbon for me. Says the Gemara, no proof. Really, there are messengers. But the case in the Mishnah is specific to me, the one who is lacking kapara. He's the one that I could bring in his behalf, as we see by Ketanim, that you're allowed to bring in their behalf. Elamayata. So ask the Gemara 1 second. Le Rav Yochanan, according to Rav Yochanan, that just taught me that when the Torah says Zois Teiras, that comes to include Zois Teiras Ayoledes. The pasuk also says a similar wording by Ayoledes. Are you going to tell me Ben Getana Ben Gedayla? You're going to tell me that the word Zois Teiras comes to include minors and adults? But wait, Ketana Bas Lady, could a child, a girl who's a minor, give birth? Can't be. But we learned in Yavamos, Vatani Rabibi Kamid Rav Nachman, Shalosh Nashim Mishamesh B'moich. 3 women are supposed to literally be Mishamesh, be with their husbands B'moich, with a cloth, with a condom, which are the 3. Ketana Muberes V'nika, a minor, one who's pregnant, one is nursing. Why? Ketana Shema Tizaber V'tamos, because we don't want Ketana to become pregnant and give birth. So what do we see over here? We see that a ketana cannot survive a pregnancy. So how could you tell me that Zois Teiras is coming to include bringing the carbon of a yoledes of a ketana? Can't be. There can't be yoledes of a ketana. Answers the Gemara, and with this we conclude, Zois Teiras yoledes is coming to include something else. It's true that the word Zois Teiras come to include, but they don't come to include a ketana, but rather bein pikeches, bein shoite. Comes to include a girl, whether she's lucid, whether she's without das, shkin adam maybe carbon al ishtoi shoite kid Rav Yehuda, because one is allowed to bring a carbon on behalf of his wife who is without das, like Rav Yehuda the Tanya. Rav Yehuda Omer adam maybe carbon ashir al ishtoi. A person can bring a wealthy carbon on his wife. Chol carbon shes chayeves. Any carbon that she is obligated. Because of law, because that's what he writes there in Eksuba V'achrois Dislan Allah, Mekadant Adina, and therefore says the Gemara, there is no kasha from the word Zois Teiras, and with that we'll pick up from here in the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.